All right, Chase Hernandez, you lead the show. Tell us what we're called, all that good stuff.
Oh, we're TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. And
well, that's the show, but this particular show.
Oh, this is the fan show.
This is the Rewind presented by Yeti.
I know. It's been a while, so help me out.
Yeah,
I was going over everything else.
This is the Rewind presented by Yeti. Before we get started, we want to make sure that you guys like, share, and subscribe to this video
and comment
so that you never miss another TexAgs Rewind.
You must have listened to yesterday's Rewind.
I did.
You did, and you went through the whole thing.
I did. I got all the way to the end. Yeah.
Yeah, all the way to the end.
Yeah.
So they mentioned it. Rewind, fan show, guys. Chase hasn't been here in a while. Matt's always here. Aggie baseball, huge addition, guys.
Huge, big time,
huge.
We're excited.
So he's huge, right? Braden Montgomery, huge. 23 and 23. Number 12, Walter Nolan.
Huge.
Big guy. Big old fella.
Our QB1, Stephen McGee.
That's bullcrap.
Okay. And J-Lo. We had J-Lo on the show. I bet you didn't know that.
J-Lo?
J-Lo's on the show today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. The J-Lo. The original J-Lo.
Oh.
John Lopez.
Oh, John Lopez. Nice.
J-Lo. We talked about the Texans. Very little. A lot about Aggie football. He's been high on Connor Wigman since day one. Who hasn't, right? We love Connor. We love Max. We love the whole thing. We talked all about it here on the TexAgs Rewind. How did A&M get this done with a guy who had his options to go wherever he wanted to go and also his heart close to staying at Stanford?
Yeah, so whenever they hired Jim Schlossnagle as the head coach and Nolan Cain as his assistant and recruiting coordinator, we knew stuff like this was going to be possible. And we've seen it repeatedly on the high school level, but that just doesn't get as much run and publicity as a all Pac-12 freshman All-American, Pac-12 freshman of the year type of player, first round type of talent that Braden Montgomery is. So this is, if you've been following Aggie baseball recruiting, this shouldn't shock you at all because this is what they've been doing. So, that part of it, I had a good feeling about A&M's chances going in because of the people that were recruiting him. Second of all, I think a move to the SEC to a place where he thought he was going to be developed, and I'll tell you what A&M did, probably the best job of anybody recruiting him outside of Stanford, because Stanford, he kind of knew what their plans were for him on the mound. What he wants is a chance to continue to hit at the level that he's hitting, but also a chance to be developed on the mound. So whenever you look at what A&M presented to him, first of all, their plan for him must have been really good and something that he and his inner circle really thought would be efficient and manage his workload while also continuing to progress on the pitcher's mound. This isn't just some kid that has a dream of pitching and can't do it. This is a kid with elite arm talent that with the right pitching coach could also turn into a two-way Shohei Ohtani, Jack Caglione type of player. And I think that was important to him to find a coaching staff and a pitching coach that he felt could best manage both sides, the hitting and the pitching.
Well, I'd like to see more of him, but based on the small sample size, the flashes that we saw last year, as well as the height, the recruiting rankings and things like that, he was ranked higher than Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
So I think, think of whoever's been just a great interior defensive lineman, because I think he'll play interior. He can play on the end in the SEC. I think you can expect him to be at least what DeMarvin Leal was. At least what DeMarvin Leal, potentially first round, top 10 pick kind of athleticism. I think he has
talent.
that kind of athleticism. Years ago, around about 10 years ago, LSU, maybe a little longer than that, maybe 15, LSU had a defensive tackle named Glenn Dorsey. And look him up, all the accolades that guy got. And he was a freaking war horse. He was the best defensive lineman in the SEC. Might have been the best player in the SEC. And I don't want to necessarily put that on Walter because, man, you talk about a high standard. But I think he can be in that kind of discussion.
Obi, I want you to picture this scenario, okay? The Aggies are in Knoxville, and it's Walter Nolan.
Oh,
and
yeah.
A lot of people thought he would go there. There's been some, turmoil for him not choosing Tennessee and some of the aftermath and whatnot. And they were a really good team last year. And Walter has himself a field day, not only stops the run, not that they run very much, gets to Joe Milton twice, A&M, goes to Knoxville, very tough place to play, and he's not necessarily, he's the defensive reason that A&M shuts them down. Picture that scenario for me.
It'd be beautiful. Old Rocky Top would be kind of quiet up there if that happened, or except for the grousing. If they hadn't paid him, which of course he said himself, well, if I was looking for money, I'd have gone to Tennessee. He actually said that.
He did say that.
But I think when you look at the situation across the street, I think we all know that who should be the starting quarterback, who the best guy is for the program, who moved the team last year. And you guys know I'm high on him, but at the same time, in modern day football, guys can transfer if you make the decision too early. And so you don't want to lose the guys behind him. And that's a situation we've been in as well, right? Where you get a couple guys injured and you have an offensive line, you don't know what you have. So there very well could be on quarterback 2 or 3. And so I understand it from that angle, but I think eventually you gotta make the call.
So you kind of suspect that whoever's going to be the starting quarterback already knows he's going to be the starting quarterback.
I think the team knows.
Okay.
I think they feel it.
I want to play a game with you, and I think we're going to start off with quarterback, but optimism meter, right? I'm going to tell you a position, and you just tell me 1 through 10 where your optimism is at that position and why. All right, so quarterback number 1.
I'm 10. You guys know I love Connor.
Yeah. There's a lot to love about him. You can
he doesn't agree.
Oh, no. I would say I'd like to know, yes, this is the quarterback. And I have to say that I can only base it on what I've actually seen. So I would say with Connor, I'm an 8.
Yeah. And an 8's really good.
Yeah. I mean, I liked what it wasn't all his fault. In fact, most of it wasn't his fault. But he didn't look great against Auburn, and he didn't look great against UMass. And there was weather, but it was UMass. But yet at the same time, I thought he was really effective against LSU without putting up the huge numbers. Didn't matter. He moved the offense. I thought he was really effective against Ole Miss. Yep. Would have loved to have seen him play earlier against South Carolina. And I would have loved to, of course, he was sick against Florida. So in the small sample size, I liked what I saw.
Yeah.
If had I seen more of it, maybe that meter would be up to 9 or 10. Now, if it's Max, based on what I saw, I could feel comfortable saying 7.
There's reasons to be optimistic. There's reasons to have BAS. Where are you, John?
I'm optimistic. And I know, look, this is what I got there in 1980. So 43 years, whatever it is. It's like, all right, this is the year. No, I've always been a realist with the Aggies. You know that, David. I know what's what. I know a lot of people there. I've known a lot of people there. Here's why I'm most optimistic, and I'm not trying to be like, Mr. Nobody's talking about or whatever. As much as we talk about Petrino, and he's going to be the guy. As much as we talk about these guys maturing, freshmen, sophomores, juniors, rather than a bunch of freshmen and red shirts, et cetera. As much as we talk about the talent and the condition that these guys seem to be coming back. I come back to the culture, man. If you look at the big picture here, if you look at all the transfers, the 5 stars, the 4 stars that have transferred, and the stories and the things that they did while they were at A&M, and the fact that a lot of them have not been able to stick at their new schools, that tells me there were some big culture issues at A&M last year, like severe. You don't have the record they have last year with the talent. If you have a great culture, you have it because there's a bad culture. Yeah, youth was a factor. Yes, they were not quite ready in some areas, but I think the culture at A&M, and maybe that's too much in the sticks. Maybe it's high in the sky. I think the culture at A&M is as big a factor as anything right now.
And the reports out from the players that come in here, the way they talk about dressing the same, showing up early, holding each other accountable, from the inside out that I keep hearing, that seems to be on the right path. We got to see it, though.
Oh, we have to see it. And you can have the greatest culture in the world and still go 5-7. I mean, if you don't have the talent. But when you combine it with all those things I just mentioned, the Petrinos and the players and the conditioning they seem to be in and the optimism, I think when you combine it, this is a team that I fully expect 9 wins, maybe 10 wins, maybe more.
Well, guys, I don't know what to tell the people to do now that we've already told them what to do.
Yeah.
I mean, just, hey,
tune in tomorrow.
Have a great day.
Yeah, enjoy your day.
Enjoy your day.
Kick 'em.
Yeah. Yeah, go have you an ice cold beverage, lay by the pool, whatever you got to do.
I like the way you think, guys.
That's a good idea.
Keep on losing, Rangers.
That was nice. Sorry for you Ranger fans, because I'm supposed to be in the middle here, but I'm not. I'm an Astros fan. See you next time.